Why I have a restraining order on my next door neighbor. This is part two. So, part one left off that we left the courthouse. We were told to go home and try to live in peace, and we were both denied the restraining orders at that time. I had made a decision that I was going to do everything I could to make sure they knew I only wanted peace and I wanted no issues. They had other ideas. For the next 5 months, they spent their entire day and night going in and out of their house every 5, 10 minutes. There was five of them, remember? And they'd all come out together, separate, whatever. They would spend their entire day yelling at my cameras, yelling at my door, yelling in my window, calling me a WHORE, saying, F you, F off, flipping off our cameras, cackling, calling me names, laughing, just bullying and intimidating. We live in a cul-de-sac neighborhood. It's very small, and I have a dog. I have to go out a lot of times a day, and we felt like prisoners. Every time we went out, we would have to put our camera on live to record just to make sure nothing happened. We stopped calling the police because although the police said it was horrible what they were doing, it wasn't illegal. So even when we were inside our home, we were being harassed from the outside. Also, remember, we share a wall. So they would bang on the cabinets, bang on the walls, bark to get our dog going. This would be all night. I got no sleep. I literally lost like 30 pounds, maybe a little bit more. Then it was even taken up another notch. She encouraged her son to make sexual gestures at me, which was horrible. And all on camera. They didn't care. They had their dog pee on our Halloween decorations. They threw a rock, like whizzed by my husband's head. They would hang around our car to intimidate us. Now remember, our car was already keyed, so it was intimidating. Now you're probably wondering why we didn't defend ourselves. Mainly because we were trying to handle this legally, and we knew that if we did anything, said anything, and defended ourselves, that there was a big chance of someone, the judge, whoever, thinking that it was going to be tit for tat again, and we could not afford to have that happen. So we had to just keep our mouth shut, and it was so hard. It was so hard because you're getting like bullied day in and day out by five people, just the group of them, their little posse, and you have to just put your head down. One time I even went in the woods to come home, prickers and scratches, and there's skunks that live in there, and that was better than passing them because you get cackled at and called names, and it's just brutal. What we didn't know, they were also going through an eviction. We had no idea until we saw it on public record. So even while they're going through an eviction, instead of focusing on saving their apartment for their three boys, their only goal was to just make my life a living hell. That says a lot. So everything really just boiled down to these last 2 weeks. It was the night before Halloween, and they were hanging around our car again, and so we were recording it because we were nervous. And we caught her threatening to kill me twice. Her son even told her to stop saying that. So we are completely depleted at this point after 5 months. And like we said, it's now just amping up. And it's amping up to a really scary place where I really felt like my life was in jeopardy. So the next day on Halloween, I actually ended up just spontaneously going to the courthouse. And I begged the judge. And honestly, I was such a wreck that I collapsed at the podium. The bailiff had to hold me up while I played that recording from the night before. The judge heard one little section of it, issued it immediately, and that was a temporary order for 2 weeks. The next week was our eviction hearing, so everything kind of boiled down to these 2 weeks. They were evicted. They did try to get a stay. It was almost granted, but at the last second it wasn't, and they were removed. I did get the restraining order permanently. She did, well, for a year. She did not show up to the hearing. And I was so scared because I didn't want to face her again. I just didn't want to deal with it. I was so depleted at this point. I could not handle anything emotionally at that point at all. So we have seen them around town a little bit here and there, but they're gone. I have my restraining order and that's over. But I am not joking. It has taken months to process. We thought we were going to be so excited. We thought the day they moved out, we were going to be celebrating. And we weren't. We did not feel that. We were relieved, but we didn't feel any like celebratory feelings. We were, I think, in shock and we were just processing everything and still trying to heal. I'm still trying to heal from it. It was just under attack, like when you're under attack for that long and there is no escape, and even your home isn't a safety, like, place of peace. It's brutal. And I am so grateful for that judge, and I'm so grateful that they're gone. And anyway, that is my story on how I ended up with a restraining order on my next door neighbors. If you listened this long, thank you so much. I'm sorry if it was all over the place. It's a hard story for me to tell, and I don't know that I'm great at storytelling because I am a rambler. So, anyway, if you listen this long, I sincerely thank you, and I hope you have a great day.